Okay.
All right. So I'm going to be facilitating this meeting for COM 3300 Team 4. I'm Nathan Pachalski, Global Supply Chain Management major. I'm a senior at Wayne State, obviously, and I work at a stamping plant as a purchasing intern. So, Ahmed, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Ahmed Seba. I am a junior at Wayne State. I'm 20 years old. I'm a finance major. I'm pre-law. Hopefully, I'm gonna go to law school after I graduate in May of 2016. I work as a server at the DoubleTree Hotel, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, Batul.
Hi, my name is Batul. I'm a junior at Wayne State University with a major in global supply chain and management. I currently have an internship at DTE Energy in the marketing department. Weiss, over to you.
My name is Wissam. I'm a junior at Wayne State University, obviously. I'm a global supply chain major and marketing. I'm a junior there, and I'm working at the Leo's as a server.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's get this Misha Enterprises. So everyone's read the case. Everyone basically knows what's going on. So let's start at what the issues are. So she hasn't been successful in hiring call center managers. She's requiring degreed professionals with call center experience, but the nearest university is 150 miles away. So, just to start, I think something we should consider is the whole degreed professionals thing. Just nixing that as a requirement.
Right.
I think. May I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
I think that's a good requirement to have. But her being 150 miles away from a university is obviously going to already put them at a disadvantage to have anyone that has a degree. And at the same time, you got to think about, are there people who are better suited for the job and can do a better job that don't have a degree? You can still train people that don't have degrees to do a great job. And the fact that they're letting that hinder them and hinder their success is, to me, more detrimental than hiring someone who doesn't have a degree.
Okay. Wissam, go ahead.
I agree with Ahmed. Just because you have a degree doesn't necessarily mean that you have communication skills, and you might not be able to communicate properly to the customers. So just a piece of paper might not prove anything. It might not show that your ability, but your previous work experience might have more to do with it than just simply a degree. You don't really learn customer service skills and that much communication through class. It's mostly book study, so I don't really think that should be the sole purpose of how she's hiring.
I definitely agree with you guys there. I think the 150 miles thing definitely limits her pickings. It says that she's looking, the only people she gets are people who are from the city looking for a rural lifestyle, and I really don't think that those numbers are very high.
Yeah, so, I definitely agree with you guys as well.
I think we should go ahead and get rid of that as a requirement, and she's looking for call center experience, which is definitely, I think, a must, at least some sort of customer service experience, and I think maybe maybe 3 to 5 years. What do you guys think about 3 to 5 years? Or what would you think would be a acceptable experience-wise if we're not going to go ahead and ask for a degree?
Yeah, two.
Yeah. Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Go
ahead. We'll go ahead.
I think at least 2 years, definitely, just so you build up the basic foundation of what's required and what the job basically needs, and then you develop more and more on top of that. So I would definitely say at least 2 years.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead, Ahmed.
Okay, I think you can maybe still demand a resume, just because they don't have a degree does not mean they're not qualified.
Oh, no, definitely.
In 2 years,
have to have a resume.
Yeah. I mean, like you can have things you look for on your resume that can that can really make up for the lack of degree. You know exactly what you're looking for
Yeah.
the manager.
So what would you say, Ahmed, would be the number you're looking for as far as experience goes, minus the degree? What would you say for experience?
Okay, yeah, 2 to 3 years. I'm fine with 2 years, but if you think that's a little steep, you can go with 3. That's fine too. I think 2 years you can get a good job, like you can get a good sense of how it is to deal with people, and just create a good work environment.
I
Okay.
agree. I think 2 years would probably be the best, just because, like you said, it's not that many high of numbers that people are trying to move to rural areas. So you don't really want to put a cap on your potential employees. So you kind of just want to see what's really out there. You don't really want to put too high of a cap with already such a small margin of people that are applying for the job.
Agreed. Okay. So does anyone have a pen and paper easily available to them?
Yes, I do. I do.
Can you go ahead and we're going to go ahead and eliminate the degree requirement and set up so let's go 2 to 4 years experience
Okay.
Right?
for the job. That would be the call center manager position.
Okay.
Okay, so while you're doing that, we're going to go on to the next point of issue. Or not necessarily issue.
Do you think it'll be fine if this is Ahmed speaking, if I created a Word document?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. Call center manager position. We're going to go ahead and eliminate the degree requirements. We're starting off.
Yep, and we're going to add a 2 to 4, we're going to require 2 to 4 years call center / customer service experience.
Yeah. And that what we like say is good enough. Like their past experience.
Yeah.
I have something to say. This is Batul speaking. I would also suggest that we at least 1 year of managing experience, because you don't want just anybody off the back. Yeah, they might have the right criteria, but if they have never managed,
Yeah.
they might not be the right fit. So at least a year of managing.
That's a good point.
May I add on?
Yes, go ahead.
I completely agree with that. I think that, like we kind of missed that. We can't just throw somebody with a business background into a management position just because they're good at people skills, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah, at least a year of.
So I say we change 2 to 4 to 3 to 5 with, a year of management experience. I would say 2, but I'm open for what, opinions on
Okay,
it.
so required 3 to 5 years of call center, customer service experience / management position, because those go like hand in hand.
Right.
Or
I think
do you want to
management
do
would be separate from customer service and.
Okay. So we're gonna do 2 years of customer service and then 3 to 5 of management.
Yeah, and you know what? I would probably say even just straight management experience. If someone like that came in with 3 to 5 years of management experience, would definitely be fit for an interview. It's
Definitely.
a new industry. It's hard to find a really good manager.
Yeah, that's true. So I'll do 3 to 5 years of management position.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go on to Chauncey LeBrad, who's the general manager. He is skilled at selling contracts and gaining new business, responsible for all profit, loss, and cash flow, as well as overseeing operations. He reports directly to the owner, whom he has worked with more than 10 years.
Okay.
So I'll go down to a little more about him. When the owner was running the daily show, the day-to-day stuff, they were growing 10% per year, and since Chauncey has been in place, they've only grown at 2% per year.
The library will be open all night tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Only Wednesday through
That's
Thursday
I was wondering what that was.
1:30.
Yeah, it's the library intercom system.
May remain
No problem.
All
So
other library
I
patrons
think we need
must
to
exit the building by
he basically told the owner that he thinks the requirements are also too much. If he knew Helen was working for her MBA, I would have never hired her. I don't really know what that's all about, and I don't really consider that
Yeah,
to
I
be.
feel like this is Batul speaking. I feel like that's a plus for him. So I don't get that at all.
Can I say something about Chauncey? This is Ahmed.
Go ahead, Ahmed.
I feel like Chauncey is kind of a cancer to the business that she has, because I feel he feels like he's so invested into it that he's not looking out for its well-being anymore. He's just doing what he's used to doing. Like, it says he under Chauncey's direction, Misha's business is growing at 2% a year, when before him, when she was running it on her own, it was growing 10%. And worse yet, it also says worse yet, in addition to having trouble retaining call center managers, which is like, that's where she's having trouble, retaining call center managers. So it has to be a problem with Chauncey.
Yeah.
Or he
It's
could have
either
had.
his training,
What's
either
on
his
the
training or his attitude.
Well, it might not even
It
be
might,
both. It might just
yeah.
that he lacks proper skills. He was never really trained
Yeah.
for the position. He might have just been thrown in. It doesn't really show like the general manager really cares at this point anymore. If she shows their sales are declined by 8%, and she hasn't really stepped in, should rather play with horses instead of going into work and try to improve her business. I mean, he might just lack the proper training. She never really provided him with it.
Yeah, she races horses.
I don't
doesn't
think
play-
it's a lack of. This is Nathan. I don't think it's necessarily a lack of training. I mean, he seems like he's been here for a long time. He knows what he's doing. I just don't think he's doing a good job.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
This is Batul speaking. For someone that's been there for 10 years, I'm sorry, you should get your stuff together and you should know what you're doing by now. 2% is not acceptable
yeah.
at
So
all.
this is Ahmed speaking. I agree with both of you guys, and as I had mentioned earlier, the fact that he's been there for 10 years, I think that's a negative, not a positive, because his attitude throughout those 10 years has, like, he just has no drive, I feel, anymore. 2%, it's growing at least, but you need to have some drive, It's right now he's the one who runs the show.
Yeah.
Misha's never there anymore. She's racing horses all the time. Chauncey should take some initiative,
So this is Nathan. And tell me what you guys think about this. I don't know if we should necessarily. He is the general manager. He's been there a long time. There's probably some relationships that are, fragile there. I don't know if we should necessarily get rid of him. I think that we should play along more the lines of maybe kind of launching an internal investigation into his performance. Go in, check out what he's doing, see how he talks with the people, see if it's maybe a personality clash, or maybe he just doesn't have the office under control and they're just going crazy all the time and can't get it together. I think we need to, rather than fire him, kind of launch an investigation into his actions and responsibilities, figure out what's going good, what's going bad, and then we can go ahead and make a determination on him after we have gone through the necessary steps.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Ahmed. I completely agree with that. I don't think termination, it's definitely not a first step. It could be an eventual step, but
Exactly.
definitely working with him, letting him know this is what's happening. We just want to improve, because it doesn't seem like he's been talked to. It doesn't say, oh, he's been approached by this. He's been approached about these issues multiple times. No, just they've been happening.
And this is Nathan, and I think we can even add in, maybe we can try and get him some management training, get him signed up for some classes or something, talk to the owner and be like, we've notified or we've seen a weakness in the general manager as far as how he manages his people, and we recommend, because we are a consulting firm as far as I can tell. So we can say we would recommend some some classes on how to be a manager, how to talk to your employees, and how to motivate them without putting them down.
So
Well,
this is Ahmed speaking. In composing the Word document, I have the topic as how to handle Chauncey. So I'm going to recommend, we're going to recommend a class that trains. Go ahead, Batul.
This is Batul. I feel like we should, instead of writing what you were about to write, I feel like you should put determine the root cause of this. So basically what we're going to do is go in there, as Nathan mentioned, and break it down.
Great buzzword. That's good. I like root cause.
Yep. And then from there you can take it one step at a time, solve each little problem on its own instead of tackling it all as one
Okay.
huge problem.
So
And
we
this
want
way,
to. This is Ahmed. This is me asking Batul a question. We want to determine the root cause of the problems. So
Yeah.
we're saying it might not be Chauncey right now.
what I'm saying, this is Batul again. What I'm saying is it's definitely and most likely more than one problem since it's been for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
So you don't want to tackle him as being like the cause, oh, like he's causing all these problems. You want to target it as to break it down and target the main, or I should say the root cause of all this, and then from there work on that and then go on to working out every little other problem. So basically doing it as a step-by-step process instead of one giant step.
Makes sense.
Just like how this is Sam speaking, just how like Nathan said, just do an internal investigation of the company completely, from the managers down to the associates, to find out where the root problem is. Where the
This is Ahmed speaking. I feel like, given the information we are given, the information we're presented about the turnover rate of the managers that he's managing, the constant turnover rate kind of implies it has to be him. These people are like everyone that works for him just quits, and his sector is doing poorly.
No, well,
Like,
this is Wissam speaking, but that might not necessarily be it, because there's employees and sales associates that have been there forever. They might just be, maybe the manager wasn't able to handle them. Usually when people have been in a job for a long time, they feel like they have seniority and they feel like they know what they're doing. And it's hard to break them of their old roots. They've become accustomed to the way that they do things, and it's kind of hard to go in there and implement new ideas and a new way of doing things. Your employees aren't going to listen, and eventually maybe the manager can get fed up, and the manager might not be strong enough or motivated enough to really care that much for the company when just starting off to even try to do anything. So they just find out a new way, they just find the easiest way out, and they just leave the company.
Yeah, this is Ahmed. I completely agree, and that actually you touched into another subject of the same thing, so we'll go into that. The subject of the other employees, the newer employees and the older employees, how there's a split between them.
Yep.
And there's so we'll talk about that. So now.
This is Batul. I just had something to add to that, to whatever what Sam was saying. I want to say that maybe the culture of the company is just so laid back that the manager is just asking for the projects to be done and not actually seeing the work or how they're doing the work. So that could be another factor as well.
This is Nathan. So yeah, we all made good points on that, and I think for now, we got to come up with a direction. So I think we all can agree that the direction is going to go ahead and do some sort of internal investigation. We can all expand on that. I think later on in the semester we'll see if we can make any assumptions about our findings. We could just assume that we did find it was a problem with the general manager, and we go ahead and address that from there. But for the sake of this week's assignment, I think we can agree that we're going to go in the direction of an internal investigation, and then in our individual papers, each of us can bring up points and ideas of what we would do in this internal investigation, what some points of interest would be, et cetera, et cetera. So, Ahmed, if you want to write that down, we're going to go on to what Wassam, you had just talked about, our
So
our split of employees. We have
yeah,
people who have been there a long time who seem to be stuck in their ways, and then new people who are tech savvy but have zero customer service skills. So who wants to start us out on this?
hey Nathan, this is Ahmed speaking. Could we just recap? Could we recap the Chauncey situation?
So
What do we want to do at least?
we wanted to launch an internal investigation into Chauncey's responsibilities. We're gonna, talk to people, but we're gonna talk to. This is up to you guys. This is up to not you guys. This is up to each of us individually as to how we want to go about this internal investigation. I think for the individual paper, we can all. So we're just trying to establish a direction that we're going to write this paper in, and I think right now internal investigation will be our direction on Chauncey, and each of us can come up with our own ideas on that. And when we get back together for the next weeks, when we compile these ideas, we can go ahead and build off each other's ideas at that point.
Okay, sounds good. So we're going to launch an internal investigation into Chauncey's behavior at work, and if eventually recommend a class that trains him if we find those behaviors are the reason for the unsuccess of his management position, well, the place he manages in the company.
Yes. So this is Nathan again. You're gonna email that to everyone after this meeting. I'm gonna set up a Google Docs. Do you guys know how to use Google Docs?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna set up a Google Doc with that, and it'll be a preliminary setup since we're not supposed to share ideas, but we'll at least get it going and with these notes, so everyone can see what we've written from this meeting, and then we'll have it for our next week when we're doing collaborative stuff. We can go ahead and add to that document. So we'll take care of that at some point this week.
All right, sounds good.
So back to the two different types of employees. You want to start on that with Sam? You got something on that?
For the, what was that? For
The two different employees, the people who are been there a while, and then the new people.
Well, I think that because of the problem was that the old people that have been there for a while said that they have great customer service skills, sales skills, and everything. But the problem was they weren't used to the technology. And the new people, the newer generations, obviously more tech savvy. But their problem was the customer sales, so the sales part. So I think it would be kind of just maybe if we were able to do proper training, once again training, and we were to get the employees to collaborate, maybe they'd be able to get something. But it seems that the old employees and the new employees kind of have a split between them. So I think it's important not only to train them properly, to get the employees to collaborate so they can both learn skills from each other. So that the older employees can learn the new tech-savvy ways, the tech-savvy ways can learn the old employees' ways of getting around. Because, of course, experience makes perfect, and the best thing with customer service and sales is the experience. So I think what we could do to do that is put, like, incentives, establish goals, create a safe learning environment so all the new people, and the old people can both learn. And I think you should just work internally with your employees and try to get them to collaborate with everyone, and not hide information from one another.
Agreed.
Definitely, but this is Patul speaking. You would have to do it in a way where they don't feel forced to collaborate together, even though they must collaborate together in order to get the business going. So that's something to look at as well.
Yeah, this is Ahmed speaking. I think we need to take in the fact that I was reading up, and it said while she was training the tenured, which are the older employees, to the new systems, she was. It says, admittedly, Misha bought the new software that everyone was learning that the old people aren't good at. when it was recruiting a new call center manager. So the training was not as thorough as originally planned. Okay, so I think that means we have to be like extremely lenient and careful with the way we go about um, explaining to the tenured employees that they need to basically, step up their game since they are so
Definitely.
good. Since they are so good at customer service skills, we want to retain. They're very valuable still. So we have to let them know slowly, easily, like just ease them into it. You know.
So this is Nathan. I hear what you're saying on that. They are extremely valuable because they are our customer service pros. They're
Yeah,
bringing in revenue. They're the ones who
definitely.
are getting the job done. So I hear what you're saying there. I think we need to. I think some funds need to be set aside by Misha to bring this company back in who owns this software, who implemented the software, and we need to do a round of training.
Yeah.
People, at least most people, feel like people inherently want to do good at work, right? So we need to create a situation where we train these employees on the software so that they feel comfortable in using it, and they can still continue to do their job and do it well. But we need to find a way to eliminate this handwritten note stuff. So we gotta present it to them as where is the benefit to them. We gotta find a place where, and this is something again we can all think about and put into our own individual papers. So Amit, I want you to go ahead and write this one down. Where can we provide incentive to the older employees to switch to the new system? How can we make them feel comfortable on it and get them away from these notes? And for the tech-savvy ones,
I
they're
think those are the
valuable
ones.
because they're putting all this information in a database. So they're the ones who are providing like a system backup of all this information. You can pull reports from it, and it probably makes everyone's job easier if you use this. So they already know it, but they still could be trained because there's probably things they don't know. As far as their customer service skills, I think that just has to be some on-the-job training or some sort of something to kind of just get them up to speed on. You cannot be saying, if I don't make 50 calls by the end of the evening, I'm going to be in trouble. Do you want to renew your contribution of $100? That's just not
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah. Can I chime in?
Yes, go ahead, Ahmed.
I think the newer ones, albeit they are tech savvy, the way they handle the employees and the example they saying, "Sorry, I don't have time to hear about your day at work. Did you part?" One of the employees said, "Unfortunately, this is exactly what they said. An example of their deficient customer service skills was recently brought to light when a newly hired employee who was soliciting donations, basically, can I get, this employee is asking for donations. And this is, it's a whole different ballgame, of customer service. You want them to give, expecting nothing in return. And this is what they told the potential donor. Unfortunately, I do not have time to listen to your story about your child's first day of school. Right there, this isn't even all of it. Right there, that's a no. Their child's first day of school is extremely personable. They want to tell that story to somebody, and if you listen to them and create a connection, they're going to be way more willing to donate. So this is what it continues. I have to make more calls because my job is on the line if I do not make 50 calls by the end of the evening. I am sure you understand. And then, at the end of this, they went ahead and asked, they did their job at least, did you want to renew your contribution of $100 from last year? I would probably put $1,000 that the lady did not, or the man did not renew the contribution. After that, I'd
Honestly,
put money on it.
right. Can I just, this is
Yeah, go
Batul.
ahead. I'm done.
Honestly, if someone was talking to me like that, I would have just hung up the phone
Yeah,
automatically. Like
that's what I'm saying.
that's no way to talk to a prospective customer
Not
at
even a
all.
customer, a donor. You don't even have anything to give to them. You are
Right.
essentially
You want
begging.
something.
Yeah, I think that's the most threatening to your
This is
business right
Sam
there.
speaking.
That's the
So
biggest threat to your business.
this is Sam speaking. So this might actually go back to like changing the company's culture, maybe making like this is what differentiates us from everyone else. That our customer service skills and our care for our customers, our donors, is just exceptional, and like you can't find anyone around to beat it.
Yeah, I
This will
mean,
bring back more donors. This can even possibly change the workers' outlook on the job, and maybe they'll be more motivated because now they don't feel like they're really coming to do a job. They're coming to build connections. They're getting to know people.
can I say something? This is Ahmed. How about we use that example that they gave, and we're acting as the company right now, correct?
Yeah. We're
Right.
we're if
If we were in their shoes, this is what we do.
we're consulting for this company, so we're
Okay.
trying to help Misha, or Ayala, or what's her name, Anella, who owns the company, try and figure out why they're not doing as well. So we're trying to come up with solutions for her to figure out why her company is not achieving the same success as it was.
Okay. So how about we use this example as a prompt, and we make this example what our business is going after. We let people know this happened, and we do not want this to happen in our company, and we are so devoted to give you good customer service. We are willing to blah blah blah. You know?
Can I, this is Boto. I would like just to add something real quick. Well, this is kind of what I do on my day-to-day job.
Okay.
Basically, we consult, and I've listened to a couple phone calls just from the company I work for, and there's a script each representative follows. Now, if these representatives are given scripts to follow, then I think we wouldn't have a problem. There
Yeah.
would be a time limit. Like, we have a time limit of 5.5 minutes, so they could have a time limit. They would want to stay on topic, but if a customer is gonna talk about their kid's first day of class, we're gonna tell them, oh, unfortunately, I don't have time to listen to your kid's story. That's just rude. You would just be like, oh, okay, nice. That's cool. That's cute. And then you'd go back onto the script. So I feel like
I think
adding a script would eliminate this problem.
this is Nathan, and I think that's a great idea. A script. We can all come up with like some sort of time limit we think is appropriate. How many calls per day that we want them to achieve right now? Let's make 50 calls by the end of the evening. I don't know if that. I mean, I don't know. We can maybe look at what the average amount of calls is, but we can figure out a number. Just go with 50. Come up with a time limit and come up with a script. Say you need a script. You got to give these people something to follow, so that we don't end up with this kind of situation ever again. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I think this is Ahmed. I think we should also, along with a script, this is probably something that we would need a class in, and it would actually benefit how to handle customers who talk a lot, how to end conversations politely, how to make the connection and cut it off right there.
Definitely. This
I
is
think that's good too.
what I just want to add something. Instead of giving every representative 50 phone calls to attend to every day, we can minimize that and hire another person. This way, they wouldn't
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
they wouldn't feel so rushed to end the call and move
Yeah.
on to the next person. As long as our customers are satisfied, we should be happy. So I'm
I,
pretty
know-
sure.
yeah.
You know,
I think.
that's
I think. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
no, it's not even necessarily necessary because I mean, out of those 50 calls, when talking to customers like that, I doubt they're getting really anyone. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you just limit it down to just even 30 or 25 and just listen to what the customers say, and once you build that personal connection with them, I mean, it becomes the stronger the personal connection that you have with someone, the harder it is to say no when they try to offer you
Yeah.
something, they try to sell you something. So the
Yes.
stronger the personal connection, the less calls, the more you might still have more sales though, compared
Yeah.
to 50 calls and probably like 2 sales if even.
This
Definitely.
Ahmed, may I say something?
Yes, go
Uh,
ahead.
I think the fact that this is an over the phone thing already puts you at a disadvantage. So yeah, limiting the calls, and maybe we can start going on percentage, like percentage of people that are turned. You know, people that you get to, instead of, oh, make 50 calls and just make the calls. You know, I don't care. And why don't we say, get 10 new customers today? Doesn't matter
Right.
how many, like, get 10 people, get X amount of people
I
to
think this is
agree,
Nathan.
and
I
yeah.
think I think there is some value there, and I think that is where, or that is why these older customers who have these handwritten notes do so well. Not only is their customer service good, but they have relationships built. So I think there's something to that. I think that the job of a telemarketer is to make a lot of phone calls. So I don't think that we should be limit or lowering the number of phone calls, because the more calls you make, just statistically, the more money you're going to make. So I think we can keep that, but I think we need to, there is, like you said, something to the whole new customer stuff. So maybe when we're talking with a new customer, we devote more time to that employee to be able to try and build a personal relationship with that customer. For the first, I don't know, whatever. However we decide, we can all figure out a plan on that in our papers. But I think there's something to that, building up our rapport with new customers. So I think that's a good idea. But I do think that the number of calls should stay relatively high as compared to where it is, because we don't want to lower ourselves too much.
Okay, this is
Yeah,
Batul
yeah.
speaking. I agree with you, but I feel like we should lower the phone calls. It doesn't have to be for every single representative, but at least just to the newer ones that are coming on board, just because they're still getting the hang of it. So maybe they would you don't want them to feel rushed, so and
Okay.
be rude on the phone. So if you lower the phone calls and they have less,
So
eventually you'll just build up to the 50, but you'll
I
start
was
out lower than that. So
this is
basically,
This is Nathan. I was just gonna say, so maybe with the first 6 months with new hires, we do some
right.
sort of with the phone calls to get them up to the level, the number that we want to, with the training to be able to handle those kinds of situations where there might be a long-winded caller or whatever. But I think so. That is something. You add that in your paper, and we can all kind of come up with a variation on that as well.
So personal customer conversations.
Yeah, put something to the effect of like new customers, 6-month introductory period where we ramp them up to, we start low as in phone call volume to train and get them situated, and we ramp them up to full production.
Right.
So, Ahmed, once you get that, I want you to go ahead and read us what we got as far as ideas, read the ideas that we came up with, things to write our paper on, so that everyone has that fresh in their minds, and then I think we're going to go ahead and end this meeting.
Cool. Okay. So I have, for the call center manager positions, we want a degree requirement to be eliminated. We want to require 2 years of call center and customer service experience, and then at least 3 to 5 of management position experience. That's what we want to do about.
Or.
What's it?
Make that a or 3 to 5. It more so like
okay, yeah.
just get rid of 2 to 4. Put 3 to 5 years experience in customer service management, and I mean we can choose who we interview or who we don't. So if they've got 5 years of customer service experience but little to no management experience, we can go ahead and make that determination. Or if they have all management experience in some other field,
Yeah.
we can make that determination as well. So just go ahead and put 3 to 5 in each of those, and we can build off of that.
We're requiring either 3 to 5 years of call center customer service experience or 3 to 5 middle management. That's where we'll make the decision.
There we go.
Okay. And now, how to handle Chauncey. First thing we're going to do is determine the root cause of the problem. We're not going to pin it on him right away.
Okay.
You are a 52 or a 1? 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 52 or a 1?
So,
waiting
on that one, everybody just kind of come up with ideas of internal investigation. What you would go ahead, what you recommend that we do to achieve root cause analysis.
You want us to tell you right now?
No, just
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I want you guys to put in your individual papers. We'll all come up with ideas, and
Okay.
when we meet again, we'll gather all of our ideas.
Okay.
What do you got next, Ahmed?
I know his side is frozen on mine, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's frozen on mine too. We'll give him a second here.
Am I? Me?
There we go. There you are.
I can still hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, launch an internal investigation into Chauncey's behavior at work by asking the employees how he treats them, what he does around. Just get a feel for him from an outside perspective.
Mhm.
Okay. I have we recommend a class to train him if we find that his problems are the reason for the lack of success in the business.
Okay, and go ahead on to what we can think about as writing points for the two different types of employees.
Okay, so how to handle the rift in employee sectors. We're going to train the older ones and the newer ones too. So we're training them both in what they're opposite. Like, we're training the older ones how to be tech savvy, and the tech savvy ones how to be more customer service friendly, just like the older ones are. Where can we provide incentive for the older employees to switch to the new system we want to implement
Perfect.
easily and comfortably? And then how to handle the bad attitude and customer service of the newer employees, the younger ones. We're going to possibly create a script for them to follow on phone calls. To have a class for poor relationship skills that's going to train on how to handle personal customer conversations and how to end them. And then we're going to have a new 6-month introductory period, which we start new employees at a low volume of calls and ramp it up to a full numbers of calls over the time period.
Perfect. So does everyone feel like we can write our paper on this after this?
Yeah. Definitely, I think this has been a very informative session.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, extremely informative session.
Perfect. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and end this call. I'll take care of posting everything to YouTube and all that stuff, so you guys don't got to worry about that, all right?
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Right.
you can
we'll
go ahead.
Contact through text messaging.
Okay, go ahead and create the Google
Doc?
Hangout so I can post this.
Yeah, I'll create the doc when I get done with this, all right?
Yeah, and just let us know when you do that.
All right, sounds good. It might be tomorrow.
That's
fine. That's fine. Just let us know.
I will let you guys know. All right, you guys have a good night, okay?
All right,
You
you
too.
too.
All right, you too.
Take care.
All right, goodbye.